something really messed up?
Of course. Why wouldn't I want to hear something messed up?
You've heard of the World's Fair, right?
Yeah, I missed them.
Yeah, it's a shame they don't do them anymore.
It really is.
Yeah. You know what? They do.
Really? But it's not the same as
It
once
is the
was.
same. You know what the difference is? They decided they don't want Americans there. They occur. They are huge. They're in other countries. They're promoted in other countries.
Really?
A friend of mine went, said it was one of the greatest experiences of his life, but they are not promoted in America.
Isn't that
do
something?
not want us there.
You know,
There's one in Japan next summer. They call them World Expos now.
Right. Well, they were calling them that back then, too. They went by a
Yeah.
lot of different names. But from 1883 to 1904, that 20-year stretch, 21-year stretch, Chicago and Paris and St. Louis, those three World's Fairs
Changed the world.
changed the world. Almost every major invention.
Chicago Fair was a big deal too.
But in terms of invention, those in between 1883 and 1904,
I actually went to a
everything.
World's Fair.
Where?
Yeah, but what was
Knoxville?
the biggest invention that came in where you were there? Because you're not that old.
It was, you know how they changed those ketchup packets to those little cups
The
that could
dippers?
either squeeze or dip?
No, I went to
Those
the
are-
one in
that's a good-
Flushing Meadow in New York.
Oh, the Men in Black one.
Oh, you went to the one with the big globe.
Yeah. That's the
I
Men in
just
Black
passed
one.
that on the subway.
Yeah.
What
And
did they
had a-
have? What did they introduce at that
Oh,
World's
they
Fair?
had like ashtrays in the car you could
Oh,
use.
Jesus.
Okay.
Really? That's nice? The one they had in Paris introduced the car.
Oh.
Not the ashtray in the car, but the very first, Benz
But
motor
what
wagon.
would the car be without the ashtray?
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like it
I mean,
goes the other way.
really, what would it
but,
be?
You know,
What are you gonna do in
the
there if you
original
can't
two
smoke?
cars both debuted at the exact same
The
World's Fair.
Citroën? Was it a Citroën?
Citron.
No.
And then Citron.
No, I don't know. I don't know what words you're saying there.
It's a French car.
Okay, but it was not a French car.
Andy?
Yeah.
Yeah, but there were no French cars, so ha 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 on you. No, Benz was German, and he brought his first motor wagon was debuted at a World's Fair.
Did you just say Motorwagen?
Well, that's how they pronounced it. They were motor wagons.
Wait, so take me through this.
In Andy's tips for the common man, most everybody drives a Citroën
a Citroën with an ashtray.
if they're smart.
Wait, hold on. I don't know that a Citroën is. I think that is a car for the common man.
Maybe.
Anyway,
Yeah.
wait. So what was the Ford Model T? That was the first mass-produced car?
That was a mass-produced American car, and it was mass-produced at a price point that the average person could afford. The early cars, you really had to be pretty rich. And there wasn't even an expectation that you were going to be the driver. It was really just replacing the horse-drawn carriage. So the idea was you had somebody driving the carriage, you'd have somebody driving you in a motor
So who
wagon.
made the first car?
It was Carl Benz. Yeah, Carl Benz.
Oh, Mercedes-Benz?
Well,
Well,
not
I mean,
Mercedes-Benz,
yeah, it was
but it
Carl
was Carl
Benz.
Benz.
Mercedes was somebody's daughter.
It was somebody's daughter. Yeah, he somebody who had
It
actually.
was Dahmer.
It wasn't his daughter.
Jeffrey?
But yeah.
No, but he was the guy who owned the company, not Mercedes. Daimler, yeah.
Wait,
Boy,
so
I know a lot about
there's
it.
Benz, there's Mercedes, and there's I was wondering
They were
why it
all,
was
all
Daimler
separate
Benz.
things. Daimler was a separate person who invented a separate car, but eventually mergers took place and things happened
And they wanted to name one of their cars.
Well, they
after
didn't want
this
to.
girl.
It was insisted upon them by the child's father, who himself was kind of a designer of things and had presented some plans to the car company and said, if you guys can make this car, I will personally commit to buying X number of them. And it was not a huge number. It was like 26 cars, but apparently back then that was a year's worth of production.
Right. Now 30 cars had been sold.
The only thing that he asked for was that the car be named after his daughter.
Interesting.
His daughter's name was Mercedes.
And then there was a guy named Sid Maybach who cleaned up the offices. And they named
but there really was a guy named Maybach.
Yeah, Maybach.
All of those guys. That's the amazing thing about cars.
But that's the most interesting of all the Mercedes.
The
The Maybach, yeah.
Yeah, but all of those guys were real people.
Yeah.
I mean, it was really, they made it, it was a standalone brand. Now they've added it on to the regular
It's more
Mercedes.
trim level now.
But it was.
What's really fascinating is who the hell named their kid Mercedes before Mercedes?
I know, isn't that incredible? The name predates it, but you know what? All these people were real people.
Guess.
Rolls was a person. Royce was a person.
Yeah.
Bentley was a person. Chevrolet was a person.
Yeah.
We all know,
Ford.
obviously, Ford was. But it's weird seeing these names that we
Ferdinand
know.
Porsche.
Porsche, yeah, which there was the father and the son. The father invented Volkswagen.
Yeah, Volkswagen was not a person.
No, it
What is that?
wasn't. It means
just means the people's car?
the people's wagon in German. So the original Porsche invented Volkswagen. It was his son who actually started the sports car company that we now know as Porsche. So, and in fact,
is this from the men who built America?
No, this is from the cars that built the world.
The cars that built the world.
But let me just say one interesting thing about the very first Porsche sports car.
Yeah.
Which evolved into the 911, but was not a 911 when it was first built.
What was it, the 356?
It was the 356. And if it looks kind of like a Volkswagen Beetle,
it's because it does.
It's because it is. It was made out of one. He had no ability to get the metal necessary because the war had just ended and Germany was decimated. But he wanted to develop a sports car. He took a Volkswagen Bug, which of course has those rounded edges. It's got the engine in the back with the air-cool system. And if you look at the modern day Porsche 911 or the 356 at the time, it's all rounded edges, engine in the back, air-cooled system, just like the Volkswagen Beetle.
Yeah, they're very similar cars in a lot of ways.
He literally took one apart and turned it into that.
I've seen people take a Volkswagen Bug and put on the back of it Porsche. Porsche.
Oh, that's cute.
I've also seen when they put one of those turnkey dials to make it look like a wind-up car.
Yeah.
You don't see those anymore, but those were adorable.